All right, all right, all right. Gentlemen, start your engine!
The secret side of me, I never let you see. I keep it caged, but I can't control it. So stay away from me, the beast is ugly. I feel the rage and I just can't hold it. It's scratching on the walls, in the closet, in the halls. It comes awake and I can't control it. Hiding under the bed, in my body, in my head. Why won't somebody come and save me from this? Make it end. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I hate what I've become, the nightmare's just begun. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster. I feel like a monster. It's hiding in the dark, its teeth are razor sharp. There's no escape for me, it wants my soul, it wants my heart. No one can hear me scream, maybe it's just a dream. Maybe it's inside of me. Stop this monster. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I hate what I've become, the nightmare's just begun. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I feel it deep within, it's just beneath the skin. I must confess that I feel like a monster. I'm gonna lose control, it's something radical. I must confess that I feel like a monster.
White flag waves. Come on, Dino, bring it home. Dino can hear him yelling. He sees the checkered flag waving. He gets it done.
Works his way off turn number 4. Down here across the stripe. Jack hit. Will get your win.
Clevenger wins at the Lanier National Speedway. Checkered flag wave. Give it to Putt Putt.
Final lap. Here we go. Drag race down the backstretch. Who's it going to be? They're so tight coming here off the lead. And it's going to be, holy crap, it's going to be Chris Thompson. Dean Reynolds down here through 3 and 4. Coming up off. Looking good and clean. He will get the win here at Lernerville. Patrick Spangler working off a 4. He will get your win here tonight at Lanier. That 280 and Jeff Sharp trying to close in on the 72.
Get there, checkered flag wave. William Watson holds on.
Alright, getting things all situated here. Sorry that it took me a moment there to make sure I had the correct logos and things on screen. We got the Gears Unlimited 358 here tonight. Prayers go out to Shaggy, who is your normal Monday night broadcaster here at C2C. But unfortunately, he could not be with us here tonight. We're wishing him well. He is on a journey to recovery. So thoughts and prayers for the family and him as they go through this troubling time. But here tonight, starting on with your grid here of your heat number 1. We're looking here at, come on, give me what I need here, you. And sorry, let me know if that fan's too much. I will turn it off. Brian Dickens starting up there on a pole for On Edge Racing, hammer down in the 122. Michael Vitale there in second. In the 213 to his outside there for Vitale Motorsports. Gears Unlimited. Mike Brewer there in third. In the number 390, Sam Bachman there in fourth. The Samaconda driving its 007 Full Throttle Motorsports. GSG RFX Mason Hine, the 89, starts in fifth tonight to his outside. The 147 of Michael Vecchio there in sixth. And Bud Molyneux for Venom Racing in the 883 back there starts in seventh. That is your starting grid for heat number 1. As we get set to rock and roll from my hometown here tonight at Lernerville as they go through turn 1 and 2. Now they head on to that backstretch ready to let the dirt fly here tonight. And down here in corner number 1 they go. Out there onto the top side goes Vitale as the 122 Dickens gets right up there along that outside edge as well. After getting to the lead, coming out of turn 2, down there through 3 and 4 now. Looking on the bottom comes the turn 39, or the 390 rather, of Mike Brewer as he is underneath Michael Vitale. We'll see if that inside lane can prevail at all, but usually here at Lernerville, that outside lane is going to be almost where you want to be at, middle to high side. Tragedy Dickens getting that run off the corner there out of 4. Down there around corner number 1 and 2 onto the backside. Brian Dickens hangs on to the lead. Mike Brewer there in second. Vitale trying to hang on there to third. Your transfer spot there is the Samaconda in the number 7 down there in 4th. Mason Hine back there in 5th. Michael Vecchio in 6th. And Bud Molyneux ended up in the pits. As they work now there off corner number 4 down the front straightaway, squeezing up against that outside wall. Michael Vitale trying to keep it out of the only wall here. One of 2 only walls here at Lernerville. There is only 2 outside walls that you can really tell. One of them is down over the bank in turns 3 and 4. And you got the front stretch wall, which is like an actual wall here at the Speedway. Everything else is just a drop-off bank onto the back stretch. Or back off of the backstretch rather, and down over a bank you will go. And it's not an easy bank either. It's pretty steep back there. As they roll there now off turn 4, and around goes Vitale as he collects the outside wall. The 89, Mason Hine, gets into the outside wall as well. That's going to allow Michael Justifield to get up, Justified Vecchio there to get up into 4th. As we see Mike Brewer there in 2nd. Brian Dickens out there in front. Bachman hangs on to 3rd. Michael Vecchio taking that transfer spot for the moment. Final lap here as Mike Brewer and Brian Dickens work off of turn 4. Mike Brewer is 2nd. Brian Dickens gets the win here in heat number 1 for your open set 358 this Monday evening. Thank you everybody for tuning in to your Monday Night Madness here on Coast to Coast Racing Network. Heat 1 results are going to be as follows. We got Brian Dickens out there as the lead, as the winner. Mike Brewer 2nd, Sam Bachman there in 3rd. Michael Vecchio in 4th, Michael Vitale 5th, Mason Hine there in 6th, and Bud Molyneux there in 7th. Heat number 2, your starting grid Harold Klump starts out there on the pole with the number 35. To his outside, starting second. Outside pole is the number 513 from Can-Am Racing, Jeff Barker. Row number 2. Jonathan there. Wild Child Jonathan there in third. Driving the number 21, Billy Roberts there in the 99 in fourth. Scott Thomason there in the 06. Starts fifth for Scott Thomason Racing. To the outside, Zach Chapman in the number 72 for Gambler Motorsports. Now I'm kind of curious who's running that one. It's just he's putting his name out there so he can see the races or something. I don't know. Alton. For Big Fish Tolls, number 61, Alton fourth. There and Forte there in seventh. Down here now, out of corner number 3, getting ready here for the start of the race. You see that 35 Harold Klump on that pole position. Your fastest driver, though, is Billy Roberts back there in 4th. He was your fastest qualifier for this heat. As they invert the top 4 here at C2C, or otherwise known as Coast to Coast. Down here through the backstretch. Off turn 3 and 4, around here onto the front straightaway. Here we go. They're getting away. Little touch there to Billy Roberts coming off the line from the 21 of Jonathan as Harold Klump comes down there through. Turn 2, Jeff Barker there in second. The Wild Child there in third. That's Billy Roberts back here in fourth. Harold Klump out there in front, still leading the way. Out and back here battling with Scott Thomason. They work down through the back straightaway here. Up on that high side to 513 of Jeff Barker. Here comes Billy Roberts there behind him. Jonathan Hogan there in fourth. Now you got Jeff Barker up there to the high side. Billy Roberts there on the bottom, 3 wide off of turn 4. 5 laps ago here at Lernerville tonight, when almost going 4 wide. Here off of turn 2 as the 21 of the Wild Child tries to stick it in there in between Roberts and Klump. Roberts still battles for that position there in a 4th, and then comes sliding there through turn 1 and 2. Scott Thomason watching us all in front of him, driving at Dad's Root Beer sponsored machine here tonight. As I work down off of turn 4, Billy Roberts for LFM there in third right now as the Wild Child falls back there in the 4th. Jeff Barker there in 1st. Harold Klump in 2nd. As they work there now off the corner. There's the 513 of Barker. Harold Klump there in 2nd. Billy Roberts 3rd. Jonathan there in 4th with Scott Thomason there in 5th. Alton there in 4th. Or I'm sorry, Alton 4th there in 6th. Now they keep rolling down through the backstretch. Yes, Uncle Ron, we definitely are thinking of Shaggy here at Coast to Coast right now. Keeping him in our thoughts and prayers most definitely as Jeff Barker gets the win here in heat number 2. Here we go. Your results for heat number 2. Why didn't you come up and show me? Come on. Jeff Barker there in 1st. Harold Klump 2nd. Jonathan Cahogan there in 3rd. Billy Roberts 4th. Scott Thomason there in 5th. Alton Forte there in 6th. Zach Chapman taking a no grid here tonight. Ryan Algie there in the 027 for JWR Motorsports. Gets the pole here tonight. Randall Dixon there in 2nd in the 011. Dean Reynolds in the number 79 Super Dirt Car Series Full Throttle Motorsports. Dino will start third here tonight, inside row number 2. To his outside, teammate, Full Throttle Motorsports number 23, William Watson, starts to his outside there in 4th. Mike Stryker back there in the 015, rolls off on the inside there in 5th, with Clay Christopherson there in the 051, starting 6th. Terry Walters rolls off in the 207 here tonight, as they get ready here for heat number 3. Top 4 advance to the main show here tonight. They get set to rock and roll here from Lernerville for another heat. Lights are off. Pace car's going to pull off. That'll hand it over to Ryan Elsey. Your quick gun here in this heat is the number 23 of William Watson, starting there in 4th. But don't count Dino out, as Dino has a pretty good quick time here as well, starting there in 3rd. And who can battle through the field the best as they come here off turn number 4. Down here onto the front straightaway, heading into corner number 1. Dirt flies, the dust slings, and here we go off of turn 2. Elsey trying to hang on to it as he drifts up to the outside of the racetrack. Going around there, Terry Walters there in 6th. Randall Dixon ends up sliding off the backside just a little bit, but keeps it under control. Mike Stryker, that's going to allow him to get up there into the 3rd spot. Dino now in the 2nd, chasing down Watson. That is her 2nd row that has moved now to your front. They work down here now in the 1 and 2. 6 laps to go here in heat number 3 for your Gears Unlimited Open 358 Modifieds here tonight for your Monday Night Madness. Then we have 2 divisions of the 360 wing sprint cars, as it looks like Dino up into the outside wall here at Lernerville. Dino, all that barrier is going to do is just slow you down as you come there now through turn 1 and 2. Elsey in the pits. Off of 4 comes Watson. Christopherson there in 2nd. Stryker there 3rd. Dixon there in 4th, and they keep rolling there off up 2. Down the back straightaway. Here they go. Off of 3 and 4, and look out, Watson goes off the top side. He gets into that outside wall. And now Dino comes in, and he'll collect Watson. That's going to not help Watson's cause at all. Now Clay Christopherson comes around here. 3 laps to go here in heat number 3. Mike Stryker there in 2nd. Randall Dixon 3rd. Terry Walters 4th. As they keep it rolling down that back straightaway. 2 laps to go here in heat number 3. Clay Christopherson out there in front. Mike Stryker there 2nd. Randall Dixon there in 3rd. As you're the way the leaderboard stacks out right now. Terry Walters back there in 4th. Dino there in 5th. Watson back there in 6th. Man, oh man, the top 4 drivers struggled here tonight on the start of this one. That's allowed Mike Stryker and Clay Christopherson, who started down here towards the back of the field, to finish up here 1-2. Clay Christopherson getting that win here in heat number 3. Mike Stryker there in 2nd. And I think we're going to end up going on to a consolation here, or a LCQ rather. All right, maybe not. Maybe we do only have the 3 heats. We do. This is warm-ups. So we're going to go and take a break here, but first we'll show you the results from heat number 1. Heat number 3. Clay Christopherson getting that win. Mike Stryker there 2nd. Randall Dixon there 3rd. Terry Walters there 4th. Dean Reynolds 5th. William Watson there in 6th, and Ryan Elsey ended up in the pits there in 7th. We'll be back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. More racing coming up after this short message.
Thank you to all of our sponsors.
Back here at the Speedway as they get started here for their heat. We'll see here what. Oh, that's not right. Okay, why? I didn't realize that still said that. I thought that changed. This should be. There we go. Gears Unlimited Open 358 here tonight. Brian Dickens will start here on pole to 122. You're on ahead, Hammer Down Racing. Goes outside, K&M's Racing Team number 513. Jeff Barter starts there on the outside pole there in second. Row number 2, inside the 051. Clay Christopherson starts third here tonight. Mike Brewer in fourth. Win the number 390. Row number 3 to the inside, the 35 of Harold Klump. Starts fifth to his outside. In sixth place is going to start the number 015, Mike Stryker. Row number 4 inside, the Samaconda Sam Buckland, the 007 from Full Throttle Motorsports. Starts here in 7th with Jonathan Hogan there in the 21. The Wild Child starts there in 8th. Randall Dixon, the 011 in 9th here tonight, with Michael Machio starting in 10th in the number 147. The 099 of Billy Roberts rolls off in 11th here tonight. That's Kerry Waters in the 207, rolls off there in 12th. 13th, that's going to start 213 from Vitale Motorsports, Gears Unlimited, Michael Vitale. Starting 14th, outside row number 7, Scott Thomason racing the 06 as Scott Thomason in 14th. 15th, that's going to start Dino there in the 79 for Super Dirt Car Series, Full Throttle Motorsports in the 15th. 16th, starting the GSG RFX Motorsports, the 89 of Mason Hine. 17th position going to start out in fourth in the number 61, Full Throttle Motorsports, William Watts, driving the number 23. Starts 18th here tonight, and I didn't get them all. There was 2 spots that I didn't get. Gary Walters and Ryan Elsie are ones that I didn't get for the start of the grid, and they're down and away here tonight. Off a turn 4 they go. You're watching there in the middle of the pack. Up there at the front, we got Brian Dickens rolling off there in corner number 2. Down the back straightaway, Jeff Barker. Caution already out. We're going to see where this one lies. This one looks to be Ryan Elsie up there in the corner 1 and 2 area with Billy Roberts possibly involved. There we go. See where this lies here as they come there off turn 4. Down here in the corner number 1. Billy Roberts there on the top side, comes down across the nose. Unfortunate there for Ryan Elsie as we'll take another look at it here. I'm almost positive it looked like Roberts came down a little bit. There you watch that 99 from LFM. Go up the racetrack here. Go up into the corner. Ends up bouncing off of Dino. Comes back down across the nose of Ryan Elsie in that 027. Finds up down there on the bottom of the racetrack. Don't look like the cars are tore up too bad, so they should be able to get back green flag racing. Yeah, a couple of them take to the pits to get their cars reconfigured. Here we go, back once again. Back to racing they go. Off the corner, down there through 1 and 2, down the back straightaway. There you're watching Dickens out there in front. as they work there now off the corner. There's Harold Clump back there in fourth. Jeff Barker just ahead of him. They're under caution once again. Take another look at it here. We're there now off the corner. Trying to get this to come up here. There off corner number 2, getting ready for the restart. I've got to make this quick here if I can get this to do what I need it to do. And I'm not sure exactly what brought out the yellow flag. Oh, Adam Clark, this is a lot of fun here, coast to coast here tonight. They roll that through the corner, trying to figure out exactly what happened. And there it is, the 6 there. Getting into it. Scott Thomas, and it just stacks up there in quarter number 1. Dean Reynolds around. Vitale around. That's going to do it there. As we get them back, they're going to beat green flag racing. Here we go. Back out there. Green flag. Now they work down the back straight away. 24 laps to go here in Lernerville. As they work down there now off 3 and 4. Up there to the top side. Working down through 1 and 2. Harold Clump there in third. Right behind him now. That's Jonathan Cahogan there in fifth now as the 39 of Mike Brewer gets a great run there on the outside lane. Up there now through 3 and 4. Got to watch how high you take it up there into the corner. As you can hop that cushion just a little bit, you're going over. That Mike Stryker is there in the 015 trying to work his way up, and yet another caution. Back here towards the back. Try to see Bud Molyneux. Torn apart there. Engine issues on that 083. Take a look at it here to see what exactly happened to Bud Molyneux. Now down that back, straight away they go. You're looking at them down underneath Vitale. Vitale's going to be right there. And they end up squeezed up there against the wall. Watson ends up too close to the outside. Oh, man, what a hit to the infield tire. That tire was unforgiving to Bud Molyneux. And just like that, it just goes from an okay race to, oh man, as we're now on board here at Bud Molyneux, you'll see as he comes out of the corner. Down here on the bottom side. And then you're on board with Bud Molyneux, and he tries to save it, and just, man, oh man, what a tough hit. Yeah, he tried to get it going again. Thank you for tuning in to Flinker Farm TV if you're watching over there. As well as everybody over at Coast to Coast Racing Network. Thank you. As over at Coast to Coast Racing Network, as I said before, your normal broadcaster for Monday nights, Mr. Zach Chapman, otherwise known as Shaggy, had the unfortunate problems where he had to take some time off. Well, our thoughts and prayers are with him Hopefully he can get back here as soon as he can. I know we're all rooting for him to get back. There at Coast to Coast. And the Coast to Coast family definitely is sending out lots of thoughts and prayers for him to get better. As we work here through 1 and 2, 20 laps to go for the Gears Unlimited Open 358 division here at Lernerville tonight for your Monday Night Madness. Harold Plump there in 4th. Jonathan Tahojan there in 5th. Jeff Barker there in 6th. Mike Stryker back here in 15th. Or I'm sorry, 7th into number 15. You see the 89 there, Mason Hines trying to work over top of the 007 of Sam Bachman. The Sam Conda working there underneath. Keep working there. There you watch. Brian Dickens out there in front. Clay Christopherson there second. Mike Brewer in third. And look out, Christopherson up and over. He's going to end up saving it though. Get back in front there of Jonathan. Great piece of racing there from Clay Christopherson to keep that thing under control as he hopped the cushion on the backstretch. Brian Dickens having issues back here at the back. He's down there on the infield now. But he is out of harm's way, so they stay green. Harold Plump there in 5th. Mike Stryker here in 6th. Randall Dixon back here in 7th as you're watching Sam Buckman. Sitting 7th right now. Ah, man. There we got the 21 of Jonathan Tahojan there in 3rd. Jeff Barker right behind him, wanting to try to chase him down. 15 laps to go. Dickens in the pits. Molyneux out. After such a hard hit to that infield tire that just apparently did. Somebody's got to cement it in there down there, I think. Down there and going into turn 1. As it did not budge at all. And tore that engine all to smithereens on that number 883 above Molyneux. Working there in the corner, number 1 and 2. You got the 51 of Clay Christopherson up there on the high side. We got a slow driver down there on the inside trying to pick up who that is. As Michael justifies Pachio there in the 747. Up there on the top side, Harold Plump, Sam Bachman there in the 6th. That high side, Sam Bachman, Randall Dixon there in 8th. Billy Roberts there in 9th. Michael Vitale there in 10th as they keep working down the back stretch here through turn 3 and 4 rather, down here in the 1 and 2. There is turn 3 and 4. Harold Plump there in 5th. Sam Bachman there in 6th. Mike Stryker in 6th now as they roll it on up there. Jeff Barker still trying to chase down Jonathan Tahojan there in 3rd. And then we're there off turn 1 and 2. Mike Brewer up there on the high side. Clay Christopherson there in 2nd. Jonathan Tahojan there in 3rd. Caution back out here. That's going to stack them back up as Vachio ends up in the pits. ASC 147 or 747 there, Al Pacino as he's there, working down the back straightaway. Got the 207 there. Walter, and he just ends up parking it up there on the top of 3 and 4. And no, couldn't quite get it rolling again. That might be it for Michael here tonight at Lernerville. And it's Sharon Machio still in the pits. Dickens is out. Jeff Barker, Harold Plump, Mike Stryker, Sam Bachman, Randall Dixon there in 8th. Billy Roberts there in 9th. Daniel Waddingham down there out of turn number 2, or down there out of turn number 4. Because we're on the 4th caution, it is still going to remain single file here at Lernerville. They work down through the front straightaway. Lights go off. Brad will pull that pace car off the backstretch. Barney's going to grab that green flag and get it ready to turn these gentlemen loose once again as they head here out onto the backstretch. A half a lap before they can get that green flag to send them back underway here at Lernerville for the main event of your Gears Unlimited Open 358 division here tonight. As they work down there off the corner, here they go. And we see Jonathan right there, and that helped get Parker back into the mix of things as Parker comes there off of turn 2, looking to the high side. 8 laps to go here in the main event of the 358. The work there off the corner. Mike Brewer up front. Clay Christopherson there in second. Jonathan Tahoja there in third. Jeff Parker fourth. Harold Klump fifth. Mike Stryker there in sixth. Sam Buckman there in seventh. And they keep it rolling down through the back straightaway. Clay Christopherson, Jonathan Tahoja, Jeff Parker, Harold Klump, Mike Stryker, Sam Bachman, Randall Dixon, Billy Roberts there in ninth. That they headed on out there now down through the backstretch. In the 3 and 4. Jonathan Tahoja there in third. Jeff Parker there fourth. Harold Klump in fifth. They keep working there through 1 and 2. 5 laps to go here at Lernerville for the 358s tonight. Jeff Parker there in a fourth. Harold Klump in fifth. As we said before, these setups are open tonight. Unlike Thursday Night Thunder, whenever you're watching those guys have a fixed setup, so those guys can't adjust anything but a steering ratio, and I think maybe one other thing. Steering ratio and offset, I believe, is what they could change on Thursday night. Everything else has to remain the same from car to car. Here on Monday night, though, it is fully unlocked to allow these drivers to get those cars to feel as comfortable as they want. As they run there through turn 3 and 4. Christopherson hanging there out in second, trying to get up there to Brewer, who's currently leading the way. Christopherson looks to the low side, going down here into turn 3 and 4. He's got to try to get that thing hooked up enough to make a pass. Here comes the white flag. It unfurls and it waves. Mike Brewer, 1 lap to go here at Lernerville. Right on his bumper, that was Clay Christopherson. Jonathan Tahoja back there in third. They roll here through 3 and 4. Christopherson's going to slide it on down there. Is he going to get anywhere with it? No, he's not. But he gave it one hell of a run. But Mike Brewer gets the run off the high side and gets the win here at Lernerville tonight for your Open 358 Modifieds from Gears Unlimited. All right, here we are. Your feature results. Your winner, Mike Brewer, out there in front. Clay Christopherson giving it his all, finishes second. Third going to Jonathan Tahoja. Jeff Parker there in a fourth. Harold Klump in fifth. Mike Stryker there in sixth. Sam Bachman, the Samaconda, there finishes seventh. Billy Roberts in eighth. Michael Vitale there in ninth. William Watson finishes 10th. Dean Reynolds there in 11th tonight. Randall Dixon 12th. Brian Halsey there in 13th. Mason Hine there in 14th. Terry Walters finishes 15th tonight. Scott Thomason in 16th. Michael Machillo in 17th. 18th. That's going to go to Alt 4th and 8th for 18th, as we said. Brian Dickens there in 19th. Bud Molyneux finding that infield tire, blowing the motor, finishes in 20th. And Zach Chapman sitting there tuning in so he can see what's going on, keeping tabs on everybody here at Coast to Coast. I'll get with the leaders here, your winners. See if we can get with the wild child, Jonathan Tahojan. Good evening here, Jonathan. How's it going?
Hey, Flieger. How's it going, sir?
It's going well. How's your Monday night feeling here? You're starting off pretty good here with a third place finish.
Oh, man, I am super stoked. You know, Lernerville is definitely not my home track. Weed Sport is, but in the iRacing world, Lernerville is my baby, and hey, I'm happy to be here.
You did a great job bringing that up through here tonight and finishing there in third. Kind of take us through. How did you think that setup felt here tonight for you? I know there are open sets here on Monday night compared to Thursday night.
I'm definitely an open set guy. It felt really great. I think I just misjudged a couple things, but I definitely had some mishaps here early in the race, gave me some left front damage. So I seen I was holding on third, and I guess that's all I could do. So hey, I'm still up here, and I guess that's all that matters.
Well, I mean, you did great there. And I would try to pull up points here. I don't know what the point standings look like, but let's see here. It'll tell me here. Now, I'm not. Looks like you might have missed a few races. I think. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm very new to the league. I just came in last week at Cedar Lake.
Ah, okay. So you're
So this
still
will be
new to the whole.
my second one.
So you're still new here.
Yes, sir.
Well, you're putting on a show, that's for sure, and bringing that number 21 there in the third spot. You got sponsors, shout outs, people you want to thank.
Oh, yes, of course. For one, I really want to give a big shout out to Dean Reynolds for even allowing me to, come in here and put a footprint here in Coast to Coast. Stever's Garage, M&M Customs, Phelps Cement Products, a big shout out to Justin Hares, Champions Racing, Auto Repairs, BizTech Bowling, Legends Racing TV, TVR Racing, TFG Racing, JT Graphics, Ace Handyman. Big shout out to my kids. They're all watching right now. They love what you do. And big shout out to my son for spotting me. And thank you for putting the show on for us.
Well, it's our pleasure. You did a great job there tonight. And are you coming out in the sprint cars at all, or are you done for the night?
I will be out there.
All righty. Well, good luck, and we'll see you on track here in just a little bit.
Thank you.
That's Jonathan Tahojan there in third tonight. Now we'll get with second place finisher, Clay Christopherson. Good evening there, Clay. How's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
It's going well. Did you miss a little bit on that setup to try to get up there and battle with Brewer?
Oh, no, I had the car. Just didn't have the opportunity. It was pretty top dominant, and I didn't want to throw any bomb sliders or anything like that. So I just rode with it. But yeah, we were waiting for a mistake on his part and didn't get one.
Well, it looks like you're chasing him on track like you are in points, as you two are top one. No, I'm sorry. You're ahead of him one position in points. I'm sorry. Sam Bachman has the lead in the points.
Ooh, we'll have to change that.
So you're sitting second. Mike Brewer's sitting third coming into tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, we've been finishing pretty good lately. I had dinner, so I didn't qualify, and that heat race got a little fortunate on where we started, I guess, or where everyone went. And no, the car felt phenomenal. I could put it anywhere, and it just had drive, so.
Well, you're doing a great job there tonight. And are you a little worried about Brewer at this point, considering he's one race behind you on the races counted, but he's only about 10 points behind you in points?
No, we'll have some close racing and close points. That'll make it more fun. I usually don't run for points anymore. I just hang out with the guys, and I like driving, so we'll see what happens. If the points are that close, I will try and make it fun for them too, and make it fun for myself because it's all teammates. Then we have bragging points then that way. But no, we'll have a good season. Looks like everyone that in the FTM is top 10 or so in the points. So.
Well, the points top 5 is Sam, yourself, Brewer, Dean Reynolds, and Mike Stryker. That's your top 5 in points.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun lineup mid-end season. That's if we're already that close.
So it will turn out to be interesting because you never know with the points the way they're going to break down because your drop weeks aren't figured in yet.
Right, yeah, that changes. Like you'll see quite a few changes in the standings right at the last minute of the end of the season. So I don't know how to factor all that in if. All the points and what I need to do. I just show up and kick the tires and go race.
You show up and go have fun. It's pretty much what you do. Well, you got sponsors,
Exactly.
shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank for that second place finish tonight?
All you guys for putting this on. All the guys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop for 358 and big block setups.
All right, great job. And are you coming out in the sprints?
No, I think I'm going to call it a night at that.
All righty, well, great job. Have yourself a great Monday evening.
You too. Thank you, sir.
All right, that was Clay Christopher. Now we'll get with your winner, Mike Brewer. Good evening there, Mike. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, and man, you had that thing hooked up there on that high side. Were you worried with Chris Christopherson there behind you?
Yeah, I was not the greatest in 3 and 4. I was super loose on entry and center, so and worried about going over the edge there in 3 and 4. So I was being extremely cautious there in 3 and 4, just to not go over. And I could hear him there. Honestly, I was waiting for a slide job, like even with like 6-7 to go, because he was right there, and I knew I was holding him up.
Well, he was trying. I mean, he definitely came after you there in turn 3 and 4, that final lap. Just unfortunately, he wasn't able to quite make it stick enough down there on the bottom to get the slide up in front of you.
Yeah, and that last lap when we come up, well, 2 to go there, well, for the white flag, when I went into the turn 1, and I got a little squirrely, got into me. I was waiting for the slide job there in 3 and 4 to come to. I was already planning on the backstretch to cross him over there off of 4 to go to the checkered, but talked to him there and brought the waiting room there, and he just kept it on the bottom.
Oh, great job there getting that win. You got shout-outs, people you want to thank, sponsors or anything for getting that victory tonight?
Yeah, you for filling in for Shaggy, and all prayers for him. Hopefully everything, works out and stuff. All the guys over there at FTM, great group of guys. They brought me on. I haven't had this much fun racing in a long time, so love getting on there Mondays and Tuesdays. Well, I might dip my toes into some other classes here through the week, but Expert Installation, Swan Speed Shop, Uncle Ronnie and Kelly, everybody out there watching. And I think we're running on 3 in a row here, so I'm pretty stoked about that. I've just been running this setup on Monday nights, and I'm really comfortable with it. So hopefully we can carry this on. I know I'm 1 week behind a lot of those guys in the top 5, so I'm really shooting for the championship. I've never had one, so that's the main focus on Monday nights. So see what happens.
Well, you did a great job getting that win here tonight, and we'll see how it goes here the rest of the season. I know you're sitting third in points right now with a race behind all those around you, as you only have that one. You have the top 7 in points all have 9, except for you, who has 8 races counted. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out here at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna race just like I'm, even with those guys. So like I said, I want a championship. So I know we get a drop week, so I don't know how that'll factor out, but we're just gonna go into every Monday night until the end of the season racing like we're equal with all those guys. So really gonna shoot for that. Try to pick up as many wins as we can, and we got the ball rolling here with 3 in a row, I think, tonight. So see what we can do next week.
Well, you definitely are doing well this season. You got 4 wins out of the 8. You have 8 top 10, 6 top 5. So, I mean, you're having a really splendid season going on right now. You're 10 points behind Christopherson coming into tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see how the season definitely plays out. So congrats, and you have yourself a great Monday night. I don't know if you're coming out for the wing sprints or not.
No, not going to give that a shot yet. So I need more seat time with those cars.
Alrighty. Have yourself a great Monday evening there, Mike, and we'll catch you later.
Yes, sir. You too. Have a good night.
That's Mike Brewer, your winner here in the 358 division. And we get ready here to bring the next series out. And that will we'll wrap it up for your 358. So don't go anywhere. We got more racing coming up.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
One, two, three. I love it, Molly.
They say it's a matter of time, 1,000 days and the sun won't shine before I come back to you. For your love I will go far, I wanna be wherever you are. I know I'm coming back for you.
Brother, it's good to see you.
My love is a river long, the best ride in a million wrongs. I know I'm coming back to you. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. And I'm happy, nothing's going to stop me. I'm making my way home, I'm making my way.
All right, we're here from the Speedway. I think it's it for your Rebels. Brought to you by FTM. Got about 6 of them out there on track at the moment. That is what we're going to be running here tonight. 6 in this division. Steven Bixler there in on track. Mason Hine, Jeremy Christensen. We'll see how they stack up here in qualifying. I see here how they stack up there in practice right now. Now we had to change your FTM Rebels 360s tonight. There they go, down around there. Getting them times in. There you see Mason Hine sitting there on pit road. Isaac Bowman out there in that number 9B. Now he rolls there off the corner. Coming there for a time. We'll see what he gets. And he comes down there through the back stretch. Bowman sitting there in green right now. We'll see what he does. Coming there off turn 4. He's in the green there as well. He's got a 12.943 there for his first lap. See what he does here for his second lap as he comes there around the corner. Looks like it's going to be a 12.738. That'll put him there in the second place. That's good enough there for second place for Isaac Bowman and that number 9B machine as he rolls it on the pit road there in the back. Great job here tonight by these drivers, getting everything tuned in. Here we go. Your grid is coming up. For your heat race, for your FTM Rebels 360s, here for your Monday Night Madness. Jeremy Christensen starts out there on pole in the 016. Mason Hine for GSG RFX Motorsports in the 89 starts second. Third is going to start the number 9B of Isaac Bowman. Steven Bixler rolls off in fourth tonight in the number 75. In fifth tonight, the 181 for Gambler Motorsports, Jeffrey Kemper. And it was outside in sixth. Alton Forte there in the number 61 for Big Fish Tolls. Starts sixth. So if you're asking yourselves now, why, if Isaac Bowman qualified second, why is he starting third? Well, that there I can answer because they invert the top four here at Coast to Coast Racing League. So the top four, so your fastest qualifier actually starts in fourth tonight. As you see him up there on that outside line, Steven Bixler in that number 75. That is your fastest qualifier for the night. Now you want to come there now off turn 2. Jeremy Christian was actually your fourth fastest qualifier, so that is why he's now up there in that number 16 on that front. They come back down there now off the corner. Here we go. Green flag is out there down and away here in the corner number 1. Down there on the bottom side, Jeremy Christensen, Mason Hine working that high side. Isaac Bowman looking to go 3 wide here through turn 3 and 4. Does so, will slide it up in front of the 89 of Mason Hine. Steven Bixler gets up there in the second. Christensen there in the first, running at 016. Started out there on the pole, going to use that to his advantage to try to stay ahead of Steven Bixler. Steven Bixler ripping that top line, as you kind of need to do here at Lernerville as they come down through the backstretch. 5 laps to go, I believe. As they come across the line, oh no, up and over. Man, oh man, what a hit there for Steven Bixler. That is not what Bixler needed to happen here in the first, or in the heat race. Hopefully he can get it back there and get that car repaired enough. Isaac Bowman, now your second fastest, up here in the second. As he runs down that backstretch, running down Jeremy out there in the front. As they roll there through turn 3 and 4, and that's how quickly things can happen here at Lernerville. When you're running that high side, as they roll there now down that back straightaway, Isaac Bowman there in second, Mason Hine in third. Look out, here comes Bowman, getting up there, 2 laps to go. He's got that high side hooked up in that number 9B. Will he try a slider here? Or will he just going to let it be as he rises the bottom through 3 and 4? Not enough, but that opened the door for Mason Hine on the high side. Mason Hine, now he's going to look there underneath, coming through 3 and 4. He's going to slide it down there. Can't quite do it as he slides it around there off of the corner. Jeremy Christensen going to get the win here in the heat race, locking himself into the pole position start for your main event. Isaac Bowman there second, Mason Hine there third. Jeffrey Kemper in fourth. Here is your Heat 1 results coming up. And here is your Heat 1 results. Jeremy Christian getting that win. Isaac Bowman second. Mason Hine in third. Jeffrey Kemper here fourth. Alton fourth. There in fifth. And Stephen Mixer ending up in sixth after an with that misfortune of finding that outside wall. We'll be back here at Lernerville just after a moment. Don't go anywhere. We got more racing after this.
Precision is our lane. Thank you to all of our sponsors.
All right, back here from the Speedway, we're getting ready here for your starting grid. Out there on the grid, we got starting out there on the pole. Jeremy Christensen in that number 016 had a phenomenal run there in the 16th in the heat race. Isaac Bowman in the number 2 spot for infamous race work there in the number 9. Isaac Bowman starts second. Row number 2, GSG RFX Motorsports, the 89, Mason Hine starts inside in a third to his outside for Gambler Motorsports, the 181 of Jeffrey Kemper. Row number 3, there is no row number 4. Row number 3, Alton fourth there in the 61. Starts fifth to his outside, Stephen Mixler in the number 75. So here we go. Starting here tonight. One more time around here for your FTM Rebels 360s. Down the back straightaway, here we go. And Isaac Bowman gets a great launch off that high side. He'll take the lead out of turn 4. Jeremy Christensen gonna fall back into second. Jeffrey Kemper back there in third. Steven Bixler in fourth as they go single train here. Coming off the corner, and oh no, Bixler gets tagged by the 89 of Mason Hine, but Bixler keeps a hold of it. Gets back underway. And now he'll fight there to get back up there behind the 61 of Alton Fort. And he will do so. Looking to the outside, he'll make the run. Alton's going to give him room, knowing that Bixler is faster than he as he works off of turn number 4 down the front straightaway. 26 to go for Isaac Bowman, but Jeffrey Kemper, he's trying to work his way up there in the lead. As Jeremy ends up around here, not sure exactly what happened to Jeremy, but he ended up slow enough that a crash meter went off. Isaac Bowman now in the lead. Jeffrey Kemper there second. Mason Hine there in third. Steven Bixler back here in fourth. They keep it rolling now. Off of the corner. Alton there in fifth. And Mason Hine, Steven Bixler running for it. Got that car back together after such a big hit off the outside wall there out of turn 4. So I'd say he's going to be a little timid going through turn 3 and 4 at the moment. Not pushing it there to the outside wall like we saw him do. We got 22 left to go there with the 75 of Steven Bixler. Down there through turn 1 and 2. Bowman in at number 9B. Working through turn 3 and 4. Jeffrey Kemper there in second. Mason Hine there in third as they keep it rolling down through the front straightaway. Mason Hine there in third. Steven Bixler in fourth. Jeremy Christensen there in fifth. And they keep it rolling down through the back straightaway there through 3 and 4. And we have more problems there as Alton's down in the pits. Christensen there out of fourth. Unsure what happened to Alton. Hey, why don't come down there through the corner. There comes Christensen. Mason Hine there in second. Kemper there in front. So I'm not sure what happened to Bowman. Bowman ends up back here towards the back. I've got a crash marker on him as well with 18 laps to go. Here comes Steven Bixler to the outside of Mason Hine. Got that 75 on a rail here tonight. Working his way through the field as he's up there in the second, coming off turn number 4. Down there through 1 and 2. Kemper is going to try to keep that 181 for Gambler Motorsports out there in front. We'll see if he... Oh, no! He'll go around there. And they'll keep it underway. Man, oh, man, how close was that? That's going to allow Mason Hine to get up there to Steven Bixler a little bit. Steven Bixler there in front. Leading the way, Mason Hine in second. Kemper there in third. Christensen there in fourth. Bowman there in fifth, trying to keep it on the lead lap. Out of this race here tonight. Working down there off corner number 1 and 2. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the racing here at Coast to Coast Racing Network. As your host, FFTV, on the pole, brings it to you here tonight. There you want him come there off the corner. There's the 75 of Steven Bixler out there in front. Mason Hine there in second. Jeremy Christensen there third. Looking side by side. There goes the 16 underneath of the 181. Christensen going to get that position as Kemper ends up into the outside wall there across the front stretch. Now Kemper sets his sights on Christensen. Christensen trying to stay up there in third if he can. Mason Hine sitting there in second. Bixler out leading the way. Bixler had a great run going in the heat race and ended up getting a little high off a turn of 4. Ended up taking out the whole car pretty much. Sending it airborne up and over onto the front stretch upside down. During the heat race, Jeremy Christensen there in third. Jeffrey Kemper there in fourth. Isaac Bowman back here in the fifth. Four laps to go here at Lernerville. For Steven Bixler out there in front. Mason Hine there in third. Christensen there in third. Mason Hine second. Kemper back there in fourth, trying to hang on to it up there along that outside. Trying to get that car to bite as they head there through 3 and 4. Isaac Bowman, not sure exactly what happened to him. We'll take a look at a few of these accidents here, though, at the end of this race. Since they went flag to flag here with the 360 Rebels. Coming down there across the line, Steven Bixler gets the win here this Monday night in the number 75. Oh, I'm sorry, I spoke at prematurely. Here he comes. Now he comes across the line to get the win here in the number 75. Steven Bixler. Mason Hine in second. Christensen there in third. Got the Team SSR logo on the wing of that machine. As you see the three there now, we're going to go back through here a little bit and catch some highlights. Starting here with Christensen. He works there off turn 4. Not sure exactly what happened. Here he comes down there in the corner number 1. Gets into that outside wall, gets shot up there to the top, and just ends up off the back side. That's what happened there to Christensen. Now we'll look at Isaac Bowman. He was leading the race and then ends up falling clear back in the 5th. He's up there on that high side, coming there out of turn 4, down here in the corner number 1 and 2. And he'll dump it off of turn 2 down there on the back straightaway. Out in fourth. Forte. Here's a look at his accident. And he rolls there through the back stretch, so he'll have an accident coming here on the front stretch. Off of turn 4, up there to the high side, and he dumps it off of turn 3 and 4. Oh, man, it kind of looks similar to what happened there to Steven Bixler in the main heat race. And here was the last caution of the night, or last incident of the night, rather. Jeffrey Kemper leading the way, and he'll dump it coming here off turn 4 as well. Up there along an outside lane, and great job by these drivers missing them. They head there in the corner number 1. Oh man, what a night it is for these drivers here at Coast to Coast Racing Network and the Coast to Coast Racing League. Oh, there we go. And, third place finisher, Jeremy Christensen there in the number 16. Good evening there, Jeremy. How's it going?
It's going. How are you?
Oh, going pretty good. You started out there on pole. Looked like you had a small mishap there coming out of one of the corners. Now I forget which one because the drivers seem to have an issue coming out of 2 and 4 tonight up there on that high side.
Yeah, I came off the corner in 4, and then I hit the wall on the front stretch, and then I was just trying to be easy, setting it into the corner, and not really knowing if I had any damage to the car, and ended up just going over the top in 1 and 2, and then gathered it back in, and then stayed on the bottom middle all the way for the rest of the race. So.
Well, you did a great job hanging on there for the 3rd place, and other drivers' misfortune, I think, helped you get into that 3rd. And man, how do you think you had that car set tonight? You think you missed an adjustment anywhere? Or you think you felt pretty comfortable?
I feel like I missed an adjustment, man. Felt like I would go in. I was a little bit tight, and then it would snap loose on me. So I don't know. Back to the drawing board, I guess.
Well, I mean, you were able to control it well enough for a 3rd place. You got sponsors, shout-outs, people you want to thank for that 3rd place finish tonight.
My wife for looking after our little baby while I get to play around here on Monday nights, and thanks to Coast and everybody putting this on, and thanks for broadcast. That's all I got, man.
All righty, well, great job there, Jeremy. And with the 3rd place finish, are you going to jump up a division here tonight?
And I'll go to Renegades and hopefully find some kind of adjustment to make me a little bit better. Gonna need to be a lot better to race with those guys.
Well, most definitely. You're jumping up a division in a sense. So, I mean, those guys are tough.
It's definitely true.
So, good luck, and we'll see you out there on track in the Renegades.
All right, thank you.
All right, Jeremy Christensen there, your 3rd place finisher. Now we'll get with Mason Hine, your 2nd place finisher. Good evening there, Mason. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. How's that Grandpa or Granddad Jack's machine going?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I could probably use a couple of those after running the top on this track.
Well, you did a great job. You held on to it there enough for a second, and kind of take us through your night. Was it a little hairy at points tonight?
Yeah, early on in the heat and everything like that, I think that the top was the way to be, the place to be. And then once I started seeing people fly off the edge, I was like, well, I don't want to do that. So I went to the bottom, but then the setup I have on isn't really bottom friendly, super tight. So, it was really hard. I was pedaling it a bunch, trying to get it to be straight and all that stuff. So, once everyone just started flying off the top, I was like, all right, I'll just roll the middle, and if they pass me, they pass me. So I was good with it and kind of experimenting for Renegades. So we'll see.
You think maybe a small gear change might help run a little bit lower?
Yeah, I do. I was afraid to try it just because I know with everything else I have on the setup, it's good for the top, and I know that everyone else is going to be at the top. But probably for Renegades, yeah, I'll mess with it. I'll probably use the same setup, tweak some things, and maybe change the gear a little bit. And because I think everyone's going to be on the top, so the bottom might be there for me.
It'll be interesting to see how the track wears in for it, for sure. You got sponsors, shout-outs, people you want to thank for getting 2nd place?
Yeah, we just do Grand Slam Graphics. So thank you for putting on this last-minute broadcast. I'm not sure who sponsors the Monday Night Madness stuff, but thanks to them. And then Grand Slam Graphics, I already said, and then Justified Motorsports.
All right. Well, great job there, Mason, and good luck in the Renegades.
Thanks, Adam.
That Mason Hine, 2nd place finisher. Now we'll get with your winner here, Steven Bixler. Good evening there, Steven. How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good right now. How you doing, Adam?
I'm doing well, man. Oh, man. Glad to see that you were able to get that car back together after such a horrendous Heat 1.
Well, I learned a lot there in Heat 1. I learned I got too high, and I was like, this main, I just got to keep it down a little bit. I thought there was some pretty good grip up there, and there was for a while, and it started to go away, and then Mason was running the bottom pretty good there, and I went down there and tried that and just changed my lineup a little bit, and finally I was behind him, but I knew I couldn't. I was going to have to change something up, so I went to the top and was able to make it work, and then I went right back to the bottom because I thought sooner or later my luck's going to run out on this top, and I'm going to end up over the bank, you know?
Well, I know some drivers, I've seen them, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, depending on setup, obviously. I've seen some drivers, they'll run it high in the 3, and then as they reach the apex, cut the corner for 4.
Well, if there's grip down there, but a lot of times right on the very top, it gets pretty slick, and that wall will suck you in, so you got to be pretty careful if you're running up there. I know you get into the Renegades here, and those guys are pretty good. They'll be ripping that lip all the way around there.
Well, for sure. I know I'm one of the ones that I try to find that grip coming off, trying to put a straight line coming off the center of 3 and 4, making a straight line to the finish line as much as I can.
Yeah, you're right there. Like I said, if the grip's there on the top, it's fast. But if it isn't there, you're playing with fire a little bit, So, and it was getting pretty slick there on the top. So I just like you said there, I stayed off of that top and made the bottom middle work.
Well, that's kind of like I said. That's why I kind of run the line I do, is so I stay off the top side there through 3 and 4, because I know how treacherous that corner can be.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That's a fact. That wall can suck you in pretty fast.
Yeah, it comes quickly.
Yeah, it does.
You don't think it's coming that quick until you're all of a sudden you're on top of it.
Yeah, by the time you figure out you think you're making speed, and then all of a sudden you find out, now you're in trouble. So
yeah, it happens that quick. But great job getting that car back together, getting it back into the lead, and I think you might have had a little bit of luck on your side there as well. I know you had to dodge a couple things here and there on the front stretches. I believe it was it Kemper that ended up getting into the outside wall, or was it Christensen that got into the outside wall there on the front stretch?
Yeah, somebody, and they had a sizable lead there, and I come off of 4, and they just got in the wall when they were flipping, and I had to turn down to get around them. But no, it was like I said, you just had to kind of survive. You didn't want to drive over the bank, and you had to stay off that front stretch wall. That was a key.
Well, Lernerville is such a different track whenever you're looking at it from all the other tracks you guys race at, because of the fact there is no outside wall for 3/4 of this racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. You can get up there and you can rip the lip, but you can't see quite where it's at. You just you got to kind of judge where it is, because you don't have that wall. So I like that. I like that aspect of not having a wall. I mean, all other tracks have walls, and this one doesn't, and I think that makes it unique.
Most definitely. I mean, I'm partial to this track. Some people say, well, that's because it's your home track. Well, man, it might be so, but I mean, it just brings a style of racing so different from other tracks.
Absolutely. That's the way I feel, too. It's just a different style of racing, and usually promotes pretty good racing. You usually have a couple good grooves anyway.
Most definitely. Well, great job there, Steven. You got sponsored shout-outs. Anybody you want to thank before you get that car set up for the Renegades?
Well, I got to thank you there first, Adam, for your broadcast and your support of the Coast to Coast Racing League. I got to thank Mauer Farm Management, my longtime sponsor. Flatline Racing Bodies, been with me. So Salty Dogs Racing Team, all them guys there, and everybody at Coast to Coast, the admins and everybody that makes this work. I really appreciate what they do.
All right, well, congrats there again, Steven, and we'll see how your luck goes in the Renegades coming up.
All right, thanks, Adam.
All right. That's Stephen Mixley, your winner here for your 360s winged Rebel division from Full Throttle Motorsports. Now we'll get to the JRB. I think it's JRB. Yeah, Just Racing Boys. Renegades coming up right after the break. So don't go anywhere. More racing coming up.
Precision is our language. Creativity is our weapon. And perfection is the only option. Your ride, your brand, your image, elevated to a level that can't be ignored. This isn't just a wrap, it's a revolution. Regal Wraps and Designs, where power meets style, and style becomes unforgettable. At Regal Wraps and Designs, we don't follow trends, we set them. Every line, every finish, every detail is built to dominate. From flawless vehicle wraps to bold custom designs, we take your vision and redefine it. Seamless statements, artful accents, hues of harmony. We are Regal Wraps and Designs.
Our biggest thing is getting the word out, awareness of Mission 22, the struggle as it is to fight PTSD and suicide. My name is Corey Decker. I'm the state representative for Mission 22. This year's been great. We got a bunch of great guys that have gotten together and decided to create this rally. The word is getting out, and it's turned into quite an event where we can actually help a lot of veterans. It's a great event, but you really have to go and see it for yourself, and it's really one of those things that's an experience. Just going that weekend, we've seen how it changes people.
Back. Oh. Back here at the Speedway, we're looking there at John Clemaux Jr. running there in the number 69, putting in some time. There we got Patrick Spangler working there on the top of the leaderboard. And Shaggy painted machine there tonight. Everybody showing support there for Shaggy. We anxiously wait his return here at Coast to Coast. Jack Hitt back there. Jeff Barker running some times in here. Jeffrey Kemper in the 181. Ross there in the Ross Forganta. John Clemaux Jr. Blake Chapman. There in the number 20. Getting there with a 13.011. We got drivers here. Got to turn that off. Sitting there with him in about 5th position right now is where he currently qualified. John Clemaux in the 034. He's fitted or qualified there in the 8th with a 13.066. Ross there in 2nd with a 12.932. See if he can end up getting any better with that. Does not. Chad Griggs out there, he'll get the pole position with a 12.891, so he'll start 4th in heat number 1. Here is heat number 1 coming to the line now. Here is your starting grid. Ted York out there against the pole. Bob the Good starting there in second for Can-Am Racing Team, the number 7. In third tonight, that's going to start Patrick Spangler in the number 39. To his outside, Chad Griggs for Scott Thomason Racing, STR, in the number 270. And fifth tonight, inside row number 3, FTM Super Dirt Car Series, the 79, Dean Reynolds. Dino will start fifth there tonight to his outside, Isaac Bowman in that number 9. Not sure where Isaac is. He did not get to the grid. As they come down there off the backstretch one more time around here as we wait for them to take the green flag. 8 laps the distance here for the Renegades, 360s from JRB. All right, I'm sorry, JRD. Yeah, JRB, Just Racing Boys Designs. Now they work down the back straightaway. You got that Mobile 1. 09 of Ted York out there on pole. Showing support there for Shaggy on the front of that machine as he works there off the corner. Here they go. Down the front straightaway in the corner. Number 1 and 2 they go. Down there on the bottom side, Patrick Spangler trying to get something hooked up down there. And he falls back. Here comes Ted York down there on the inside. Working there off turn 4, but look out, here comes that 270. Chad Griggs working that high side. Dean Reynolds now up through the middle, and oh no! Well, that was interesting. We're going to pick up Patrick Spangler, spin him around like a top, and put him back down. 6 laps to go. That's going to open it up for Ted York as Chad Griggs is back here in second. Dean Reynolds clearing the track for himself and getting into third. And now Patrick Spangler and Bob the Good sit back here toward the back. Bob the Good's going to pull it off as something doesn't feel right on that machine. That area you see. Patrick Spangler just trying to get around the track. Dean Reynolds there third. Ted York up there in front. Holding on to the lead. There we see Chad Griggs out there on the high side. He had the fastest time here at Lernerville so far in qualifying. But Ted York really putting on a show right now out there in front. Working off turn 2. Patrick Spangler back here in the fourth, trying to chase down Dean Reynolds. Everybody's so gapped out after everybody got together there on the back straightaway. Now you watch Chad Griggs come off. There comes Ted York. They're still leading the way. Down the back straightaway, Dean Reynolds there third. Up there now off turn 4. White flag in the air for heat number 1. Off the JRB Renegades 360 wing sprint cars here tonight. Down the back straightaway through turn 3 and 4. Here he comes. Ted York to take the checkered flag for heat number 1 for the Just Racing Boy Designs Open 360 sprints this evening. Waiting on the results to come in. Make sure they're all official and everything. After the calamity that happened there on the backstretch. Oh, heat 1 results are going to be Ted York getting that win. Chad Griggs there second. Dean Reynolds third. Patrick Spangler there fourth. Bob the Good there fifth. Isaac Bowman in sixth. Starting here now for your heat number 2. Going to be Jack Hitt starting out there on the pole in the number 217. There to his outside in the 34 for Bloodline Racing, or Bloodline Sim Sports rather. John Alex Jr. in the 034. Starting third tonight, Jeremy Christensen there in the 16. Had a great run in the Rebels to get himself in position to run here tonight in the Renegades. Ross Corianta there in the 10, running to his outside, starting fourth for Phantom Motorsports. Gambler Motorsports, Jeffrey Kemper there in the 181. Gonna start here in fifth, with Mason Hine not taking the grid here in heat number 2. This is Monday Night Madness here at Coast to Coast Racing Network. I am your host, Adam Fleeger from Fleeger Farm TV on the pole here tonight. John Alex Jr. up there in second, going to run that top line. There, Jack hit on the inside in that number 217. Ace car pulled off. Hands it over. Here to Jack hit. Off a corner 4. Green flag waves. And they're down and away. Yeah, he worked down that back straightaway. What a start there from Ross Coyonta. There in second place now as he got 2 positions right there through turn 1 and 2. Runs that high side. As Jack Hitt falls back in the 4th, and he'll get tangled there with the 181, and he'll go off the racetrack and into the outside wall. Jeffrey Kemper not getting the start he wanted as he is back against the outside wall there in 4. They stay green here as we got about 5 laps to go here as they come across the line. I got 6 laps to go. They've worked down there through turn 1 and 2. There you see Plum Alex working that high side. Ross, though, works down there. He'll slide it in. Slides it up. Here comes the 34 back underneath. Plum Alex Jr. is going to slide it from the bottom and slide it up right in front of Ross as they work down the back straightaway. Ross now, he'll slide it through there, through 3 and 4. Running the slider line through the 3 and 4. Now they work down there through 1 and 2. Ross runs the slider down there on the bottom side. Can't quite pull it off. Alex still hangs on to the outside. And now here he comes off a corner 4. Had to kind of shake it up a little there as Alex Jr. falls there in the second. Ross Coyonta sitting up there in the front as your race leader. But Alex Jr., he's going to try to gather it up. What a great run here by Jeremy as he sits there in third. Looking underneath of Alex now. He'll run down there, down through the bottom. Jack Hitt fell back to 4th. Ross there in the front. So your 1st and 4th driver pretty much flipped positions where the ones in between them did not. So Ross Coyonta, he'll take the win here in heat number 2. Heat number 2 results are going to be that of Ross Coyonta. John Alex Jr. there in 2nd. Jeremy Christensen there in 3rd. Jack Hitt 4th. Jeremy Kemper there 5th. Mason Hine in 6th. All right, here we go now. Off the corner. Jeff Barker out there in front for the grid on this one. Jeff Barker for Can-Am Racing. Starts there on a pole. I don't want a close-up right now, dang cameraman. All right, there we go. So we got Stephen Goldner there in second with Stephen Goldner Racing driving at number 30. John Alex Jr. John Alex the third, start back there in 4th in the number 69. Crichton Sim Racing on the inside there, row number 2 is Blake Chapman in the number 20. And back here on the back row, Scott Thomason Racing 06, Scott Thomason himself. Here for heat number 3, and that's going to wrap your heats up here tonight once this one finishes. Now we see 8 laps to go here tonight. Working down that back straightaway. John Alex there in 3rd. Off the corner 4, here they go. Green flag is out there, down and away. Looking there, Stephen Goldner gets a great run there on the outside of Barker. Barker ends up falling back into 2nd. From Alex the 3rd, up there on the high side. They work down there through 3 and 4. Oh boy, way up there against that outside lane. Going to cut underneath. 3 wide there through 1 and 2. Chapman down there on the bottom, trying to make something happen there. And now he gets up there almost into the 513 of Barker, but they hang on together. Close racing there, and Chapman is on the bottom of the racetrack right now, trying to find his way through the pack. Out front, Stephen Goldner, John Kamalix the third. There in second, Jeff Barker. There in third, Blake Chapman hangs on the fourth here. They roll through turn 3 and 4. Back out there onto the front stretch, up there against that outside wall. Up there off of 2. Down the back straightaway on that cushion as they roll through 3 and 4. Chapman trying to find that speed. Barker down there on the inside, trying to get around John. Can't quite get there. As you see the 30 of Goldner up against that outside cushion as he works through 3 and 4. Barker ends up falling back in the fourth now as Chapman's getting a great run on the high side. Up there on that upper cushion, off of turn 2, down the back straightaway. In through turn 3 and 4. They're gaining on Steven as Steven is up there in the front. Look out, here comes Kamalix Jr. running that higher line through 1 and 2. Looks like he's gaining some momentum down the back straightaway. Here through 3 and 4. Got to make sure that you stay on the track. He's really hugging that top cushion. Don't really want to hug it any more than that, otherwise you're going to fall off the top side. But he's coming. He's got the nose in there. Here through 3 and 4. He's up here against the outside. And he's going to try to roll it down there through 1 and 2. He can't quite get there. The unofficial results going to Stephen Goldner as the winner. There for heat number 3. John Kamalix third. In second, Blake Chapman running well there in the third. And we'll get the rest of your heat results right now. For heat number 3, here you go. Stephen Goldner gets the win. John Kamalix in third, takes second. Blake Chapman there in third. Jeff Barker, fourth. Scott Thomason there in fifth. We'll be back after a word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. The main event coming up right after this.
Thank you to all of our sponsors.
All right, sorry, I had a little bit of issue with my tower at the moment. We're going to try to get it back here. Hopefully it works. And I see that it's not on your end. So give it a moment. We'll get that up and running. Okay, so it is there. I don't understand. Okay, well, it's there. All right. So here is your starting lineup for tonight. Starting out there on pole, the 09 of Ted York to his outside. The number 10 for Phantom Motorsports, Ross Coyota. Stephen Goldner for Stephen Goldner Racer in the number 30. Starts inside row number 3. In third to his outside, Chad Griggs. Into number 270 for STR. Starts fourth. Row number 3, inside, Bloodline Sim Sports, the 034 of John Alex Jr. Starting fifth. And it was outside the 69 for Bloodline Sim Sports, John Alex the third. Starting sixth. Dean Reynolds, Mr. Dino himself, will start there in seventh. And the number 79 for Super Dirt Car Series FTM. It was outside, Jeremy Christensen, the 016 in the number 8 starting position. Row number 5 on the inside, Christ Sim Racing number 20. Blake Chapman starts in 9th with Patrick Spangler. There in another 39, starting 10. Jack Hitt rolls off in 11th to 9th with the number 217 to his outside. Can-Am Racing Team 513, Jeff Parker there starts 12. In 13th tonight, that's going to start Bob the Good. There in the number 7 for Can-Am Racing with Gambler Motorsports, the 181 of Jeffrey Kemper. In 14th, row number 8 on that inside line. Scott Thomason Racing's 06 of Scott Thomason himself starts 15th. Isaac Bowman in the 9 for Impetus Race Works. There in 16th. And rounding out your field here tonight for GSG RFX Motorsports, Mason Hine rolls off in 17th. And it looks like Bowman and Hine did not make the grid, so they're not going to start this one here tonight. Coming here off a turn 4. Bowers down. Here we go as the green flag is out. 35 laps of distance here for the JRB Renegades as they take to the track here down the back straightaway. The dirt and dust fly through 3 and 4 out here onto the front straightaway. The number 10 Ross Coyota takes to the lead. Coming there behind him, though, is the 270 of Chad Griggs. Chad Griggs had a straight start in with the qualifying. Here they come off the corner. Had a little bit of pop up there. Trying to get it back under control is the number 30 of Stephen Goldner. Coming there now off turn 2. Gets it back, settled down. There through turn 3 and 4. And that's never a fun time whenever that front end gets popped up there. As you lose all that downforce on your steer tires and you lose all steering capabilities. Ross Coyota, he's working there trying to get around Chad Griggs. Up there on that high line, and you're going to see them all really run that outside cushion as you watch Spangler there through the middle of 1 and 2 in the middle of the track. Dino up there on the high side, up above the 30 of Stephen Goldner as they work through 3 and 4 out there in front. Chad Griggs working that high side as Ross works the bottom. There you see Ted York, he's sitting third. John Alex the third, he's sitting there in fourth with with Blake Chapman there in fifth. John Alex the third, he's falling back as he ends up off the top side of 2. Alex Jr. sits there in 9th. Jeremy Christensen working underneath. They had a bad night here working with these drivers. Looking like, I wonder if he's got changed a little bit in that setup to try to give himself a little bit better edge. Here they work through turn 3 and 4 up there on that top side. He looks a little bit more comfortable than he did in the Rebels, so hopefully he did make an adjustment that helped him out. And up there at the front, running away with it is Chad Griggs, Ross Coyota. As you see Ted York there in third, Chapman in fourth. And we got 26 laps to go here at Lernerville tonight as these drivers take on down the back straightaway. Riding around, these drivers go here at Lernerville tonight. Up there against that outside cushion. Don't really want to dip it more than that for Blake Chapman as he really rode up there on turn 3 and 4. Spangler running way up there as well. He'll hang it out There through 3 and 4 as well. Coming there now down that front straightaway. And that top line can be a quick line if you can keep the power down to it. The thing of it is, though, you want to make sure that you got it hooked right. Otherwise, you could end up and over that cushion. Coming there off of the corner as Dino's there in 6, trying to chase him down. And there you got a couple of them working there in the middle of the racetrack. That is the 30 and the 217 working side by side. Jeff Parker there in 10th. Jeremy Christensen back here in 11th. Bobby Good, he's sitting in 12th right now. Thomas and Kemper, Bowman and Hine all out of this race right now. Spangler trying to work his way through the traffic as he works down that back straightaway, up there on that high side. Working there through 3 and 4. We got 20 laps to go here for the JRB 360 Wing Sprint Cars Open setup here tonight. And they roll down that back straightaway. Spangler takes over third, but just for a moment. There comes Chapman once again on that bottom side, but Spangler gets a great run off of turn 4. There you see Ross in second. Griggs up there in the front. He's just putting power down and hanging on to it there through the corner. Chapman still trying to hang on there to that third position, but Spangler giving him all he got up there on that top side. He's got a better run coming off the corners. Chapman's trying to find that run down there on the bottom, but if your car is not geared for it, it's not going to help too much. And it looks like, yeah, it's just a little bit of gearing issue there with Blake Chapman. Maybe he has the wrong gear set up to run that bottom quite as efficiently as he needs to. Hey, Spangler up there running away now for that third position. Griggs runs it around here on the top of 3 and 4. Bringing it around there into the front straightaway. 15 laps to go for Chad Griggs. Ross Kuyata coming there through 1 and 2. Trying to get there in the second. Spangler there in third. Chapman there in a 4 with Ted York there in a 5th. Stephen Goldner there in 6. Dean Reynolds there in 7th. Trying to get around the outside of Goldner. Can't quite get there. Goldner slides it up there against the top of the racetrack. Dino going to come into the bottom. Going to slide him coming through 1 and 2. And we got a caution out there. Spangler in trouble. There's Spangler running that high side. Might have dipped it off through 3 and 4. We'll see here. He gets up there, and that's exactly what he did. Just dumped it off through 3 and 4. Man, oh man, how'd he miss that that pit road wall? I don't know, but he got it back underway. But not, oh, and there'd be the big caution there. John Klimowicz taking out turn 4 wall. And Junior also got a piece of it, it looks like. The Junior had his own issue somewhere. Hey, watch that 69 there coming off the backstretch for Blood Behind Sim Sports. Working that high side, working it through turn 3 and 4, and there you go. He'll dump it off, coming there out of 4 and up and over. And it does look like Klimowicz Jr. caught just enough of it to get rid of that wing. Chad Griggs. What happened to him? We'll see if we got anything going on with him. Chad Griggs still your leader. Side by side, getting ready for the start. Ross Kuyata wanting to get to the outside of Chad Griggs and try to stay there. Ted York there in 4th, having a great run here tonight so far. Chapman as well, there in the 20. Working there now, out of turn 3 and 4. Green flag is back in the air, and Griggs gets a great run there through 1 and 2 there. 3 wide You see the 10 there, Ross working through the middle. Chapman went down there low, couldn't quite get the pass, and now he works through the middle of 3 and 4. And that high side is going to end up sliding around, down off the back straightaway. See if anybody else is going to have issues. We know Spangler, he had an issue there through 3 and 4 here just a moment ago. So you got to really watch it outside lane. We know it's slicking off up there at the top, especially through 3 and 4. Up there along 1 and 2. 11 laps to go for Chad Griggs. Out front, Ross there second. Blake Chapman there in third. Trying to get around Ross. Ted York, he'd like to try to come away with a third place finish here as well. We look at the points race for your Renegades. Chad Griggs leads the points with 3 wins on the season, 8 top 10s, 8 races counted. Caution back out this time for Jeremy Christensen. Chad Griggs up there on that high side. We'll see if we can see anything happen here with Stephen Goldner. And then number 30, they come down there in the turn 3 and 4 up there on that high side. Goldner dips it off up into the outside wall. He'll come down. Oh, man, how close was he? But you saw Christensen, he ended up off a turn 4 as well. Chad Griggs leads the points. Dean Reynolds in second. Jesse Bandy in third. Jeffrey Barker in fourth. Patrick Spangler in fifth in points right now. Here we go, off of 2. Everybody get lined back up. We're under 10 to go, so they're going to go and have a single foul restart here the rest of the way. Thomason out, Kemper out, Bowman out. Off of turn 4, here they go. Chad Griggs down there on the bottom, working on that top lane now. Here comes Ross working the bottom side. He was able to beat Chapman to it. And there we go now off the corner as you work down there off the bottom. Blake Chapman there in third. Ted York there in fourth. Dean Reynolds now up there in the fourth. Down there at turn 4, Chapman up there against the not Chapman. Spangler up there on the outside. I'm getting confused there now. Spangler running Shaggy's paint scheme to honor him tonight there as we wait for him to recover. Let him know we're all thinking of him. There we go. Now they're off the top of the track. You see Ross there in third. Chapman got himself in the second with Chad Griggs out there in front. Final lap. There you see Spangler trying to get up there into a podium if he can. We'll see, though, as they come storming off of turn 4. And Chad Griggs gets another win on the season here at Lernerville. There in second. Blake Chapman third is going to go to Ross. Patrick Spangler after the mishap there is going to bring that Shaggy TV sponsored machine into 4th position here tonight. Wait here on the official results. So Chad Griggs getting that win. Blake Chapman second. Ross there in third. Patrick Spangler in fourth. Dean Reynolds gets fifth. Ted York sixth. Jeff Barker there in seventh. John Box Jr. there in eighth. Stephen Goldner there in ninth. Bob DeGood there in 10th. Jeremy Christensen there in 11th. John Malix the third. Jack Hitt there 13th. Scott Thomas in there 14th. Jeffrey Kemper there in 15th. Isaac Bowman there 16th. Mason Hine in 17th. All right, now we'll go here off of the board and get with the winner, or your podium rather. And here we go. Me as we get with third place, Ross. Good evening there, Ross. How's it going?
Good, how are you?
It's going well, man. Oh, man, what a night of racing it was for you. Unfortunately, looks like, just didn't quite have it hooked up enough on that top side, or either that or you were just trying to make sure you didn't go off the top side.
Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of both there. The car fell off quite a bit there at the end, and I think there was one time where I got pretty close to going off in 1 and 2, and thankfully Blake was able to get on the binders and not run me over. I think if he didn't, it would have pushed me off. But like I said, thankfully he's aware enough where he didn't drive through me. And yeah, car fell off, couple driver mistakes, and when you're trying to chase down Griggs, it's you maybe drive a little harder than you actually should. So.
All righty, well, great job there getting that third place podium. And what did you think of Lernerville tonight? I mean, it seemed pretty racy for the most part.
Yeah, Lernerville is one of my favorite tracks on the sim. I think it does usually got a lot of lanes that you can run. I don't think the bottom was quite there. Maybe it was there early on, but it fell off quite a bit at the end there too. And it would have been fun to not have those two yellows come out. Once we got into lap traffic, it's a lot more fun weaving in and out. So, but like I said, I still probably wouldn't have had anything for Griggs. He's one of the top guys on the sim. So, congrats to him on the win.
You got sponsor shout outs, people you want to thank there for the getting the third place here tonight.
Yep, Phantom Motorsports guys, Velocity Race Design, Elite Performance Industries for the setup, and then you for putting on the show, and Just Racing Boys for the sponsor or title sponsorship of the Renegades.
Alrighty, great job there bringing home that third place, and we'll see how you do the rest of the season.
Thank you.
That's Ross. There, your third place finisher. Now we'll get with your second place finisher, Blake Chapman. Good evening there, Blake. How's it going?
Not too bad. How are you tonight, Adam?
I'm doing well, man. You really had to drive the wheels off your cars tonight, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, it's never easy trying to keep up with Chad and Ross. They're up at the front, and Lernerville's a tricky place, going up on that top. The top's always the place to be. And had this car set up to move around a little bit. I could run the bottom if I needed to, but it really wasn't that fast down there. The top was definitely the place to be all night, but the car was good enough to where I could keep it on the track, which is a big part of it. Patrick was fast, and he went off the top of the track, and then Ross was fast too, but he made a couple of mistakes, which allowed me to get by him. So yeah, sometimes it's just about surviving at this track, and we were able to do that, and felt like we could keep decent pace with Chad, but wasn't going to try and push it too much there with just a couple laps left, and try and shrink his lead down and try and really go get him. I don't think I really had much of a shot there, and didn't want to push it too hard and take this thing over the top of the track. So yeah, we'll definitely take a second place run. Like I said, this track is never easy, so you take what you can get, and second place isn't bad at all.
A great job there, and you got sponsor shouts. Anybody you want to thank for getting that second place?
Yeah, I got to thank all the guys out at KSR. I got to thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps, Andy at AJ Custom Creations. I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn, of course. They got some of the best stuff out there. You can head over to their website, and don't forget to use code CART, that's C-A-R-T, at checkout, 50% off some of their very delicious popcorn. I got to thank JRB Designs for sponsoring this division. I got to shout out Shaggy, my long lost cousin. I'm gonna thoughts and prayers with him. Hope he makes a quick recovery, and he can get back to doing what he loves here pretty soon. So yeah, we're all thinking about you, Shaggy. So if he's listening, again, we're all thinking about him. So wishing a speedy recovery for him. And of course, along those same lines, Adam, I got to thank you for stepping in. I know it was probably one of those last minute deals, but us drivers and I'm sure the sponsors really appreciate when the show can be broadcasted. So got to thank you for that.
Well, it helps whenever I got coast to coast already pretty much set there as a league, so it's not really too much setup I got to do, so I can jump in quickly on it. So that helps a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy
I just
to
wanted
do
thank you for just want to thank you for hopping in here, though. Even though it's not your scheduled night.
No, not my scheduled night. Hopefully Shaggy does have a speedy recovery and he can get back to what he loves to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, like I said, all the drivers were thinking of him. We all love Shaggy, and he does a great job. So hopefully he can get back here quickly.
Alrighty, well, great job there, Blake, and hopefully you have a good rest of the season. We'll see how it goes.
Yep, thanks, Adam.
All right, that's Blake Chapman, your second place finisher. Now we'll get with your winner, Chad Griggs here. Good evening there, Chad. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
A little warm, but other than that, doing okay.
There you go.
So, man, what a night of racing it was. You got another win on the season, if I'm looking at everything correct, and great job with that. How do you think your car felt here tonight?
It felt pretty good early on. I was just telling Ross and them in the lobby there that there at the end after that last restart, the car didn't feel that great. That's why I kind of changed the lineup in 3 and 4. I just didn't feel that great and kind of found seemed to be a little bit quicker line in 3 and 4, and I didn't have to risk it all the way up on the top like it did the whole race. So just kind of changed that up a little bit. 1 and 2 still felt pretty good for the most part all the way up on the top, but just had to change it up a little bit there at the end just to make sure that I was around when the checkered flag flew.
You did a wonderful job there getting that victory tonight. And I mean, what was your thoughts on Lernerville tonight? I mean, it seemed pretty racy. It seemed like you didn't have too much issue.
No, it's just a matter of if the top is there, that's where you want to be. It was there for the most part the whole race. Like I said, it kind of changed a little bit there toward the end, and I just didn't feel quite as good in 3 and 4 all the way up on the top. So that's when I just kind of changed the lineup a little bit and was a little bit lower on the tracks, especially kind of trying to like shortcut the exit of 4. Seemed a little bit safer, and it seemed like it was even a little bit faster than having to wait on the car all the time on the way out of 4. But it was pretty good. The track was good. It just Lernerville's tough, right? I mean, to be fast, you've got to rip the top if it's there, and when you're doing that, you're on the edge of disaster every corner. So, you just hope that you can pray and hold on for 35 laps that you're not going to blow it over the top.
Oh, great job. You got sponsor shout-outs, people you want to thank for getting that victory tonight?
Thank you for the broadcast. C2C for the league, all the admins that make it work. Thank my team, TJM, and that's about it.
All right, well, congrats against Chad, and I know you're leading the points right now, but we'll see how that finishes out here after the season comes to an end and all the drop weeks and that get figured in. So good luck on the championship points.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right, everyone have a great night. We'll talk to you later.
You as well.
All right, that's Chad Griggs, your winner here tonight from Lernerville in the 360 wing division. The Renegades had right beforehand, you saw the 360 wing sprints. The Rebels, the step below these guys, as these guys put on one heck of a show. So thank you all for tuning in here to Coast Racing Network, and those that might have tuned in a little bit over at Fligger Forum TV. This is your host, Adam Fligger, from On the Pole here tonight. Good night. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.